Welcome. Where?
Hey, can you hear me?
Oh, hello. Who's that? Oh, it's Rick. Hello, Rick.
Hey, how you
I didn't hear you join. How you doing?
doing? Good. Yeah, no, I just kind of popped in. I wasn't sure if you were ready.
I'm never ready. I haven't got time to be ready. What are you talking about? So what's happening, man? How you doing?
You know, pretty good, pretty good. I'm trying to get rid of the echo right now. I'm getting an echo on my side.
No, there's no echo here.
Yeah, but it's on my side. Oh, there it is. It's on the Discord channel itself.
Ah, yeah.
Because it was still playing. I was like, where is it coming from? No, I found it. I feel better. No, I haven't really been looking for work, but I've been without a job for the last week, which is kind of nice, actually.
Full-time dev now, aren't you?
Yeah. So I've just been like doing a lot of pixel art, and last night I started doing some more music for the game, which is pretty nice.
So
I'm
still,
not getting is. Go ahead.
so still, you haven't started a new game or anything. You've continued on.
Oh no, I haven't started anything new. I mean, I have stuff for the future planned. It's just that that's like future stuff. I mean, Retro Spaceball, for it to be as complete as I'd like it to be, I mean, it might take another year and a half or two. You know what I mean?
Of course.
To get like multiplayer and all that stuff, So
Yeah, multiplayer. That's going to be cool.
well, it depends on which direction the game goes at this point, right? Because I've been working in this like inverted pyramid type like situation where the game has always been kind of like functionally okay, even though it was like a prototype. And if people liked it, they really liked it. If they didn't really like it, then they wasn't really for them. And I kind of just built on that. And every time I build on it, more and more people get into it. So I feel like if I were to make like the features that I feel like the game would benefit the most from, I feel like that it would help, because everything I've done so far has helped. You know what I mean?
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
it's a hard decision to make.
yeah. Again, not being a developer, it's hard to sort of say what you should and shouldn't do. Really. I mean, like I said, you can just let the market decide on how people play the game, but who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah.
I mean, watch people.
I'm gonna try some things and watch what people do for sure.
Well, it's probably the best way. If you don't have a definitive way yourself, it doesn't. You can, like I said, let the community decide.
Yeah, I mean, I have a lot of like ideas in mind, and I have like direction that it's I know that it's not gonna go away from, and stuff like that. So I'm not too worried about it being steered in the wrong direction. But I am totally open to like some feedback. Absolutely.
Well,
But I'm surprised that you haven't started doing any development stuff yet. You've been around the scene long enough where it's like I'm surprised you haven't
no patience.
dipped your toes.
No patience.
No patience.
No patience. When I hear guys like you telling me you've been working on it 2-3 years, I'm like, no way.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. The stuff that I learned, it took me years to learn that stuff, and then I could start. And now it's still taking me years.
Yeah, I mean, I know some people can like bash a game out in like 6 months and a year and stuff, and that's great. But
yeah,
even that's too long for me. I can't focus that long on one thing. Hence why all my content is all over the place, doing different stuff. I'm always creating new stuff. A game would just get lost.
yeah. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. Honestly, I'm very similar in personality, and that's kind of how I ended up in games, is because there's so many different aspects to games. You know what I mean? And I've always been doing all of them kind of separate away from games.
Yeah.
And I always liked games. So when I started doing game art and stuff like that, all of a sudden I wanted my game art to be programmed, and when I couldn't find a programmer that would help, or that would join as a team or something like that, I just decided to learn. You know the story.
I know the story. Yeah. But I mean, like I said, I always keep thinking I'd like to maybe get involved, but I would rather be involved in a game more than doing the whole thing. I would just get overwhelmed.
Sure. Yeah, no, I think you're probably right. And that's how I started too. I was just like, you know, a programmer was like, hey, you want to do art for me? I was like, yes.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't have any practical skill. My skills are just, really, I was connecting with people. I like talking to people. I like discovering, helping them. Not so much going through lines of code, or I can't draw or anything. So
Sure.
it is what it is.
But I mean, those skills are super useful for games as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. It's not like I enjoy doing it. You know, I like the streaming and the video stuff, and you know, now I've done so many streams, like being live. I don't even think about it now. Like now, I forget that I'm just live. I'm actually live on the internet. I haven't got a plan. I haven't got an idea. I'm just talking.
Sure. Yeah, no, I mean, I've been streaming a lot lately, actually, since I'm without a job. But you know, I was streaming a lot before that. Actually, when I was looking for work before this job, I started streaming quite a bit. And you know, I like it. It's an enjoyable experience for sure. But yeah, at first it's a little weird, and then you get kind of used to it.
Yeah, I think the more that you at first, if you've got something to actually do when you're live, it helps. I mean, like I say, doing this like just with no plan, it's not fun when you're starting out, because it's just so nerve-wracking, because you're like, I need to feel the air, you know, and you're worried about that. But if you're just streaming, getting on with your you know, development, or doing what you're doing, and then just relax, and then don't look at the figures, just talk through what you're doing, and just, you know, you get used to it. Oh
yeah, that's what I did when I started. In fact, I barely talked when I first started. I had such a crappy mic. It's probably better off that I didn't talk. I just did pixel art and music and like Unity stuff. And you know, I didn't get a lot of viewers or anything like that, but I did make some really cool friends. You know.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not exactly inundated with viewers, but I've met some awesome people, and I just really enjoy it. Like I said, I've got a full-time job. I don't need this to be my job. It would be great. I would love it to be my job. I don't need it to be, so I'm just
and sometimes, you know, you worry that like taking something like your passion project and turning it into a full-time job could like ruin it, you know what I mean?
Well, yeah, and it could.
Yeah, absolutely could. 100%.
It's not, so that is possible. So yeah, but like I said, if I can make a career out of it at some point, then that'd be marvelous, because I don't want to go to work anymore. Thank you very much.
I'm right there with you.
I know. I'm actually envious of you.
Well, I mean, my savings are only gonna last so long. Right?
Well, we better get some retro baseball sales going then.
Before long, I'm gonna be looking for work. That's just the way it is. And I'll probably be doing some contract work. I mean, I was doing contract work a few months ago when I was working on the game and at the frame shop. So I mean, it might be a good time to do some more.
I'm trying to find you. Are you on? You're not on Steam yet, are you on Steam?
I am. I'm WAV on Steam. I'm not sure how to find me though.
On the game, I mean.
On the game.
The game.
Oh,
your
my game.
Retro Spaceball.
The game is. Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. Retro Spaceball is actually not on Steam yet. I mean, I've got the game on Steam. It's just not open yet, right? The store is not open.
Why?
I'm still building the store up.
Still itchy, are you?
Oh yeah, I'm on itch for sure. I really want to get the. I mean, that's my thing right now. Is I'm working really hard to try to get the Steam trailer and all the capsule art and all that stuff done. Right? I want to do some like animated GIFs on the store and stuff like that. Make the feature list look like really cool. I've been looking at the best Steam stores, and you know, because I'm a graphic designer and stuff like that, so I know how to do a lot of that stuff, right? It's just Steam makes it really difficult. It's like remember how hard it was to code your own MySpace page? It's like, I don't know, 20 times worse than that maybe, or something like that. Yeah.
So, I'm sure it's a nightmare. But and you know what, I'm kind of pleased to get away from all that now. It's not thinking about, like I said, I used to do some websites for people and stuff, and I just can't be bothered anymore. And it's not an area of interest anymore of mine. And I'm just like, do you know what? I'll just move on to what I just naturally do anyway, which is just play cool games.
Yeah. I feel that way too. And I was thinking about even just hiring someone to do like, like for instance, my website. I didn't make my website. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
I could spend a whole lot of time on a website, or I could spend some money and just have it on another site. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Which is what most people do these days.
yeah, it is difficult because it's like, again, because I'm doing my website at the moment as well, and I actually pay for hosting. I pay about 150 quid a year for hosting, and I've got several little sites on there, and it's all WordPress based, and I thought, oh yeah,
wow.
I might do all that. I might put WordPress, and do you know what? I thought I cannot be bothered to set up a whole brand new WordPress website, to do all the settings that I know I have to do and change all the themes that I have to pick. And I was like, do you know what? I'm just gonna go to Squarespace and just pick a bloody website because I don't care enough.
I'm right there with you, man. I was looking at WordPress, and I was like, I could learn this. I mean, you could get a job doing this and stuff, like, but
Yeah.
it's like, is it worth it to me? I don't enjoy that aspect of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And I'd spend days, weeks trying to get the site exactly right, and it'd just be taking me away from what I want to do. So I thought, do you know what? No, I'm going to go to Squarespace and just pay. It's a drag and drop editor. Great. That's all I want. I just want it to be able to put all my stuff that I want on there, and that's what I'm doing.
Squarespace is great. I was thinking about switching to Squarespace. I'm actually using ArtStation right now as a portfolio website. It's really not a good setup. Although ArtStation just got bought by Epic.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
so
Wow.
that might change. I'm not sure. It was really a dumpster fire though right before they sold.
Oh,
Like they leaked a whole bunch of information. Like I'm getting spam like every day from it, and yeah. And then also it's just like not a good setup. You can't do a video on your front page. It's very specific setups. Like I've seen on Squarespace, you can get quite a bit of variety out of it.
I don't know where mine is now. Yeah, it's what I'm working on now. It's just so again, is it the best thing ever? No, it's not. But it's like I don't care. I just want to get my site up.
You can make a good splash, and that's really all you need, just a strong call to action.
Yeah.
And that everything else is just kind of secondary.
That's what I've got. Nice and simple, fine. Don't have to think about it, and then I can concentrate back on the other stuff that I actually want to do, and that's what I'm doing.
Yep. And you've got your socials. I've seen you around. You're on Facebook. You're all over the place. So I mean, if someone's looking for you, they're gonna find you.
Yeah. I just wanted somewhere to put, because I've got all these little projects on the go. I've got the virtual indie booth. I've got the tea. I've got the Get More Indie channel as well now for the news. And I thought, I just want, and I get the same questions. I get the same, oh, how does the indie booth work? Or how does this? And I thought, do you know what? I just want to send them to one website because it's all there, rather than going, hang on, let me just copy this message I sent to someone else, just describing it.
Is it all under Indie Gamiacs now?
Well, everything is. I mean, still the virtual indie booth. I'm still trying to keep them separate a little bit, just so I can track them. Like I said, because otherwise, if I have everything coming in under Indie Gamiacs, then I'm gonna go mad. So,
but that's the brand, right?
The brand, yeah. That is
okay.
I mean, it always has been really. That's the main one. Indie Gamiacs is the main one. It says what it is.
Well, I know. What, like last year or so, you were kind of switching around, right?
Yeah, exactly. But this is the main brand.
Cool.
Everything's under here.
I'm on board.
Like I said, the virtual indie booth series are under Indie Gamiacs. I did create the Get More Indie channel as well, just for the news, just because they get
that's cool.
Well, they get poor news update videos. Generally, get poor viewings on any channel. So I thought,
oh really?
Yeah, they're not, because obviously once the news is gone, you're not rewatching old news, are you?
Oh, I see. I didn't think about that.
So it's not got a lot of replayability. So I thought, you know what? I'll just stick it on its own channel, and I don't do, like I said, I don't do any editing on them at all. So I don't have to worry about it. I just press start, press record, talk to the camera, and that shot is pretty much the first shot. Well, it is the first shot that you get. I don't cut it, I don't chop it, anything. So I haven't got to worry about the Indie Gamiac sort of quality or anything changing. It's just upload it. But I still like doing them. So I thought, well, that works there, and it still gives me some content to put out, and it gives me a second channel just in case anything happens to this one.
Oh, absolutely.
So yeah.
Yeah, and I've actually been starting up the Indie Game Dev Report podcast again.
Indie game dev. Oh, have you? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was on a extended hiatus, and you know the thing is I've been kind of sitting on this. Well, I have this one last interview with Jin from Lawmage. Hey, what's up, man? Studio Primitives here.
There he is.
Yeah, so I have this interview with Jin from Lawmage that I want to get out, so that should be cool.
Excellent. Well, yeah. Well, I'll try and share it when I see it. Yeah, it's cool. Like I said,
It's a little weird because it's like 9 months old now, and I feel super bad about that. But you know, when life hits, right?
Yeah, like I say, some podcasts I've got out the next day. Other ones it's taken me a month because it is what it is.
Yeah, and I mean 9 is a little bit pushing it.
Well,
so I
know,
pretty bad,
but the content is still relevant, isn't it? Up to a point.
It is. I mean, his game's still in like a demo mode, so I mean.
And then when people go and find it, they're like, "Oh wow, it's actually 9 months ahead of schedule. This is great."
Absolutely, yeah. So and the conversation's great too. It's a timeless conversation.
Exactly. I mean, I don't listen to a podcast and go, "Yeah, but what month was this recorded in? I need to know." You know, it doesn't really matter. So that's cool.
No, but you know, I do like to put a little bit of like current events in like the first 15-20 minutes of them. Yeah. Just because sometimes people like that, but you're right that it kind of just you know, goes away after that, right? And then it's not really as useful anymore, or it's just like a timestamp. Really, it's like it dates the podcast. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's difficult with podcasts. Like I said, I'm sort of back to recording them again now as well, season 2. And I'm trying to branch out into some, like I said, not just developers now, just, let's say content creators and publishers. And
I listened to that last one. Who was it? I cannot remember the interview, but it was interesting.
What developer interview?
Yeah, the last podcast episode.
There's been 2 in the last week.
Oh, was there 2? I missed the last one.
The last developer
the
episode.
Second to last one.
Yeah. So that was James from Monster Finger Games.
I think I heard that one.
Alien Scumbags.
You know, I don't know. I'm gonna have to look at the list.
And then the last episode was with the 2 ladies from Gilded, the community program, like Discord. That was the last episode.
You know, I think I still need to listen to both of those.
Oh, well, there you go.
Actually, I see that they're there though. Yeah. But you know, I think the last one I listened to was the Top Hat Studios.
Yeah,
that was a while ago.
That was right on Christmas. That was
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I'm trying to get them. They're back in now. I'm actually
cool. I'm excited.
I'm actually talking to the voiceover lady, Kelsey. Have you seen her, Kelsey Mayer? She's in the Discord.
No, I've seen her around Twitter, and I started following her like around last year or so, like that. Yeah, I haven't actually like talked to her or anything like that, but she seems really cool. Like she seems really positive, and I like that to see that on my timeline.
Yeah, it's like insanely positive. Or
yeah,
I think Studios.
I think she's from Arizona too. I think I saw that on her Twitter.
She is.
I tend to add people from Arizona.
Oh, do you?
I don't
know. Studio says my internet is bugging. Oh no. No worries, man. But I think Studio's actually doing some work with Kelsey on one of his next game.
Oh, I saw that too. Yeah.
So that's awesome. Yeah. But anyway, I'm gonna talk to her on the podcast in a couple of weeks.
Oh, that would be super exciting. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Just thought talking about how do developers find voiceover artists?
Yeah, but voice actors are just the most exciting people to listen to.
I know
they are. They're like animators, but better.
I have a 3-year-old shouting at me from the bedroom. Bear with me one second.
Okay, take your time.
Hello, I'm back.
Hey, welcome back.
My 3-year-old, she's got a cold at the minute, so she's waking herself up
Oh,
by
no.
coughing. Yeah.
Oh, that sucks.
Well,
Yeah. Hopefully she feels better soon, you know?
Oh, it's been dragging on about a week now. It's been ridiculous.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Jeez. I haven't been sick in a long time. I've actually been holding up pretty good.
Well, I'll check you out. You've cursed it now.
You know, the last time I got sick was at a arcade convention.
Oh, really? Yeah. Well,
Yeah, it was a terrible flu. Just super bad. It was like just over a week, and it just knocked me out. Like I couldn't do anything.
So frustrated.
Yeah.
Studio, welcome
Hey,
back.
Studio Primitive's back. It looks like you're muted, actually, Studio Primitive. Like your microphone's. Oh, there, it's gone.
Can you guys hear me okay?
Yep.
Hello, we can hear you.
We heard you.
Welcome. Hello.
My internet is kind of up, but hopefully it'll be stable enough to chat. We'll see.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, cool.
How's it
How you
going?
been?
Yeah. What's happening?
Not much. Just enjoyed a huge turkey sub sandwich for lunch. Now I'm just chilling at my desk.
There you go.
Working, I assume, yeah? Not chilling.
No, I'm well, I'm deving, but I'm not really working today. So I worked this morning, but just a half day.
Ah. What you working on? How's the game going? What's the updates? What's happening?
It's going pretty good. I'm just working on finishing just something playable that I can get out to the Discord so they can try it. So just kind of building a level for them to try out and
Nice.
get some initial feedback on the game. So it's all still really early, but you know, just trying to get there. So
I'm excited.
Definitely.
Should be cool. Yeah.
How long do you think you'll have when you have something to play? What time scale are we talking?
I think I'll probably have something together. I was shooting for sometime last week, but I had some personal interruptions that happened, so I wasn't able to get to it. But I'm hoping that by the middle of next week, sometime I should have like an alpha out.
Awesome.
For the Discord for you guys to try, Rick. So looking forward to what you guys have to say about that.
Heck yeah. I'm sure it'll be great.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Yeah, I wouldn't sweat it too much, you know, man. Like the first retro Spaceball builds that I put up were just so far off the mark, and you know the feedback that I got was huge. That's what made the game okay, you know. In the end, I'm glad I put it up as early as I did.
Yeah.
I think there'll be a lot of. Oh, sorry.
No,
Richard,
that's all right. No, all right. I was just gonna, add that. That's the joy of being independent, isn't it? You can just put it up and see what people like. You're not people aren't going to judge you because the community is so good. They're just going to try and help you, which is awesome.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and switch to mobile. Sorry, you guys are kind of. I think it's my internet again. I'll be back.
Yeah, no worries.
Okay,
man.
no problem.
No worries.
Yeah, you know, the first few people that played Retro Spaceball, it was weird because you couldn't tell what kind of person they were, and that's the best type of like user too, because they just wandered in. They're organic, you know. They just came from they represent everyone. So
That's very cool.
their feedback is actually like super potent, right? Because I mean, some of them were like, "This is terrible. Like, what are you doing here?" You know what I mean? And they were like people trying to play the game, and it's like, okay, why is it terrible? They're like, you know, the bullets are like way too slow. You know, the player's moving too slow. Like the ball doesn't do what you tell it to, kind of thing. It's like, and I'm like taking notes, you know, instead of like getting angry and being upset. I'm like, thank you, and I'm taking notes. And then the next build was, the bullets are still too slow for like the first year.
Yeah, for God's sake. But
I got the bullets to be fast enough where they don't break the game.
But that's perfect like you said, perfect feedback, because you know they've got no they've got no loyalty to you to try and make it sound better than it is.
Yeah.
And that's what
And
you
then
need.
I think I might have told you before, when I put the first beta up, I had made some changes to the controls, like pretty big changes. And you don't really want to do that right before a big release.
No.
And I didn't have a team to test it or anything like that. So I was just like, okay, I do some internal testing, works for me. I don't know. You lose sight of what you're working on when you're working on it for so long, right?
Yeah.
And so you make some changes, and they just feel like more changes. They don't feel like the right changes or the wrong changes. They just feel like more changes after so long. So the controls were just messy, right? It was all, the ship was sliding all over the place. It was like there was a delay when it was like laggy almost, you know what I mean? But it wasn't like, it was like all things that I programmed to be that way because people had told me things that kind of changed the way that I was thinking about the gameplay and stuff. And it just, the beta was terrible.
But that's the problem. But that is the opposite side. The problem with being independent, isn't it? Being an indie is that you don't have someone sat next to you going, "Don't do that."
Yeah.
Or, why are you working? Why are you working on the color of the bullets when we have this massive bug in the game? You know what I mean? Because, like you said, you lose focus on, like, what should I be working on? I can't.
Sure.
I actually forgotten. Even though I don't develop, I know what it's like to get. I know what it's like to get distracted. But you start questioning, like, what am I actually supposed to be focusing on? I don't know anymore. And suddenly the nearest thing is suddenly the most important thing.
Right. With indie games, it's like there is like an already set way of making different genres and stuff like that. So if you're new, that's why some of the best advice is to start with something that's already out there, like tower defense or a genre that already exists.
Yeah.
You don't want to take pinball and shoot 'em ups and say, like, I'm gonna make shoot 'em up pinball. That's not how you make your first game.
Who would do that?
Right. I mean, well, and that's the thing, I was like, no one's thought of this, is what the noob in me was thinking back in like 2013 or whatever, when I came up with the idea. No one's thought of this. This is groundbreaking. This is exciting. And yeah, sure it is. But the other thing is that other people have thought of it. They just weren't stupid enough to do it.
Well, it's funny, is it? It depends on your outlook, doesn't it? It's either nobody's done this because you're the first genius to come up with it, or they tried it and thought, no.
Yeah, and I look deeper, and there are some shooter pinball games out there. There's just not a lot, and it's because they didn't do very well, probably. So
yeah,
I'm out to change that now, I guess. Is the plan?
That's the plan. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. You've got to finish it now.
Honestly,
you can't stop now.
Have you probably haven't played it in a while. Have you played the versus mode on it?
No, the last
Retro Spaceball.
The last.
Oh,
man. Is that the one where you've got to get each other off the screen?
Yeah.
So I have played that, but I think it must have been very early when you added it, because I've not played it for a long time now.
I did add that pretty early. I added it early. I've made a lot of changes to it, because it's one of those things that need a lot of balance. So that's why I put it in there as early as I could.
Yeah, I remember talking about the
but
balancing.
I have been balancing
before.
it.
Yeah.
And I've got some like difficulty settings for the AI and stuff like that. So it's a lot of fun. I'm actually thinking about like a tournament mode where it's almost like, remember like Mortal Kombat, how it had like the characters come down and like you fight up the ladder kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like that, except with different AI, with like different specials and different abilities, and to make it more and more unfair, essentially. So, you got to be more and more hardcore as a player, right?
Well, yeah.
I think that'd be fun.
I think anything that you can do that's adds some sort of, well, again, like I put out on Twitter the other day, make sure you've got achievements and decent achievements in Steam if you're going to go Steam, because people chase achievements.
Yeah, I don't know how to do any of that yet.
No, but that's something to look at, because people will say, yeah, there's no achievements. What are they? And people look at, I mean, it's such a, I don't know how hard or difficult it is, whatever, to do, but people
I don't know either.
People would expect achievements.
I imagine if it's with Steam, it's not easy.
Well, yeah.
Oh, that reminds me. Did you hear about the lawsuit against Steam?
No.
You didn't hear about this? Okay, so
Let's have a look.
yeah, there is a class action lawsuit from the people who own Humble Bumble. Humble Bundle.
Humble Bundle. Yep. Humble Bundle. It's hard to say, isn't it?
Yeah. Wolfire Games, right? Because Humble Bundle is owned by Indie Studio.
Oh, okay.
So Wolfire Games is starting this class action lawsuit, trying to get other indies involved that have felt losses from the way Steam's been doing business. And their major thing, I guess, is that there's been emails apparently that were sent out from Steam telling people to change their marketing strategies on other platforms. So because there's this whole thing of like how much cut goes to the developer, right?
Yep.
So people price based on that, saying like, oh, well, I'll give that back to the fans because that's how much it costs on Steam, right?
Okay.
So it kind of it actually advertises for that platform rather, because the fans are getting, or the sales are cheaper on that platform, so everyone's going there to buy it, right?
Yeah.
So Steam says, wait, you do that, you can't sell on Steam, which is the biggest chunk
no, really?
Yeah. So
yeah,
that's where people are saying like, well, I guess, well, it's this weird thing because no one wants to say anything because no one wants to get pulled from Steam.
Yeah, you
right?
can't. You don't want to rock
Not
the boat.
to mention,
Definitely not.
it's under NDA that you can't talk about if you get an email like that, right?
Jesus.
Yeah. So there's like, they're hardcore over there. Steam is a monster, right?
Well, it's funny because I did a video a few weeks ago on the Get More Indie channel saying, are Epic becoming the good guys here? Because even without trying, they're starting to look like they're looking like the good guys just from Steam being weird.
I don't know. I see Itch as being the good guys, and then Steam and Epic just like these raging monster robots I'm fighting over the market share.
I'm not saying Epic are the good guys. I'm just saying that it shouldn't have even been a question, and suddenly now Steam are just like sabotaging themselves into making the other devil look like the good guy.
I feel like Steam didn't see this coming. They probably were just doing what their lawyers told them to do, and they'll probably just do what their lawyers tell them to do in the future. That's kind of just how big companies work.
I mean, Itch is great. However, I think to become sort of a bigger success, it needs tidying up. It's so messy. It's there's too much
super clean.
There's too much crap on there. That sounds mean because they're people's games.
Oh, you mean it needs to be curated? Yeah, they need to come up with a better curation thing. Steam does. They at least try
something. I mean, again,
they have curators
because the point is,
I don't think it really does that.
No, the point is anyone can upload anything, but I know that's a bonus and that's awesome that I can make a game and upload it, and it might be the biggest piece of crap ever. Which is cool.
It should get lumped together with some other crap. I mean, I get it.
But which is cool because I get my game up there. I'm like, wow, this is amazing. I can actually do it. But that means that's another game that someone else has got to scroll past to get to some of the better quality ones. Mm-hmm. And I'm just clogging it up with full of free games and all sorts of rubbish. And that's the problem.
See, yeah. Well, Itch filled a void where there was nothing for indies to just throw games up there. So, I mean, to take that away and say like, oh, this is like a real marketplace now, like that's not really what Itch is trying to do. I think.
No, and I think it does the job well.
Someone else needs to step up.
Yeah, it almost, if there's another one that comes up, ready to indie games, agree, would like a better way to use the keywords and search for things. Yeah, there you go. Because like, if you look on here, free games, top sellers, 50 comics, soundtracks, it's like books. There's all sorts of stuff here, and it's almost like the Amazon of indie games. It's like it's got everything up here, which makes it impossible to actually find anything. I just want, indie game website where you can upload your game, no problems, but maybe I want a curated section. So if you don't want to sift through all the crap,
I agree.
There's a curated section say these titles have been handpicked by this team of whoever behind the website is. It's been handpicked by them, and these are the ones that are standing out to us. The other ones are unchecked. So good luck to you, basically. If you find something you think should be curated, flag it. You can tag it, say I think this should be rated or whatever. I don't know, but again, I don't want books, I don't want comics, I don't want soundtracks, I don't want tools all on there. That's its problem. Itch. 400.
Well, its competitors has a lot of that too, right? Like Steam has apps on there as well.
Yeah, but again, it's who's buying apps on Steam really? Is anybody doing that?
I just actually bought Stream Avatars.
Oh, did you?
It's gonna soon become the most played game on my Steam list.
Stream Avatars. What's that one? Okay, I remember. But anyway,
it's pretty cool.
We need someone to create that website. I would love to run a website like that. I just can't be bothered. There you go.
No. I think that would be great if someone just like even if Itch did it, I think that would be great, right? Because Itch could very easily just make a subset of itself that is what it used to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was really cheap for them to do that, apparently, because they were able to do it as indie, right? And now there's like a budget, so they could put most of the budget into the one site and then have like a fledgling site where anyone could put their things up, and then one where it's more like Steam, where it's like pay $100 and get your game on there kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, that's the good. Even if they had like the itch.io pro or whatever, where you can see the actual hand.
I would go for it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. But will they do it? I don't know. I don't know how big their team is. I haven't got a clue.
But yeah, I feel like that goes against the way Itch is trying to do things.
I appreciate it.
I think.
Well, you got GOG, haven't you? Have you seen GOG?
Yeah.
So,
honestly, I reached out to them like when I first started Retro Space Ball, and they're like, "Yeah, you can't put your game up here until it's ready for pricing."
That's the again. GOG, they've got this. I was listening to an interview with them, and their sort of idea, their mantra behind it all is great. It is, curated games that they have handpicked with their team. There's not an algorithm doing it. They've created these games, but they need to be, like I said, complete, working, bug-free, perfect releases, and then they might put them on the website. And if but that means there's quality. That's cool. But again, they take 30% as well. And
do they? Yeah. I mean, well, it's CD Projekt Red owns that.
Yeah, exactly. But for me, the way they were explaining their site and their idea and their ideals that they have, it felt like they were like on the indie side. We understand what it's like, and then to hit you with a 30% and be quite strict on it, it was just like, geez, I just lost a bit of like, oh, okay, it's not.
It's very, very cyberpunk of them.
Yeah. So that put me off GOG. Then just hearing one interview, I was really put off. I was like, oh, I'm not sure now. So
I heard something that put me off too, but I can't even remember. I hear so much that puts me off from companies these days. There's so much mudslinging going around. It's crazy.
I know, but the thing is, because this was actually an interview with one of the guys from GOG, it really put me off. I was like, okay.
That kind of sucks.
Yeah, but again, the theory behind there, I appreciate what they stand for, and I agree with them. I just wasn't a fan that in the next sentence they're taking just as much as Steam do. I'm like, wow.
So, while we're on video game politics, what do you think about Kickstarter?
In what sense?
Well, I mean, they're a mega corporation at this point, right?
That they are. What do I think about them specifically as a company? Well, I don't know what their percentage is to run a Kickstarter. I don't know what they charge.
It's pretty high. I think they get like 30% or some shit like that of the donations. Or I don't know what it is, to be honest. I shouldn't speak, but I think it's pretty high. Yeah. I know they're making money.
Well, the thing is,
they're making a lot of money.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, the thing is, you can't just. It's difficult because you don't want to just slate every single big company that's making money, because
right. They're super helpful for games.
They're doing the job, because there are other crowdfunding platforms, and
Mhm,
the games just don't really get backed because no one knows about them. You know, it's like, well,
they're not as big as Kickstarter.
yeah, and that's a Kickstarter. So really, it gets to the point where, you know, the Kickstarter have kind of got to decide what they want to be. Are they going to be the big corporation, or are, you know, I mean, they've got to make that conscious choice. But if they're still taking a massive chunk, I don't know because
I think they don't want things to change because they're taking such a massive chunk. I think that's really what's going on.
yeah. Again, I understand everybody's got to make money. You don't start a business to give stuff away. And
Yeah, I'm thinking about doing a Kickstarter.
Yeah, well,
that's why I'm questioning their
yeah,
morals.
yeah,
right?
no, exactly. But the thing is, if they're gonna give you exposure, you know, because I know some people say that if they give you the exposure and you get the wish lists, then it was worth it. But the only problem, again, I think the main problem with Kickstarter is people over-promise stuff and then just get swamped with the promises they've made for the Kickstarter backing. You know, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna make you, I'll make you a boss in the game. We'll do a one-on-one chat and you can make the boss and design the art. And you think, oh my god, that's gonna be a headache because you don't know who the hell is gonna back that. And then you say, oh, everyone will get a T-shirt and this and a mug, and they think that's cool, but you do have to ship all these out. And how much time are you spending doing all this when you could have just spent that time not bothered and spent that time on actually working on the game? Really hard, really difficult. But I think you've really got to have a bit of a following before you go on Kickstarter. I just don't think it's worth it unless you've.
Yeah.
You kind of got.
Do you think Retro Spaceball's there yet or no?
What's the community?
As far as the following?
Well, community. How active is the community? I think that's the thing. How many wish lists do you have? Oh, you have not on Steam yet, are you?
I don't have one yet. Yeah.
So.
And honestly, there's only like 13 people playing it in the last 30 days, but that's been consistent for the last like 4 months, which isn't bad. But when I was really pushing it, like marketing and stuff, I had it up to like, was it 470 plays in 30 days?
Yeah. Well,
that's huge. For
me.
Yeah,
definitely. I think it depends. Again, depends how much you're going to ask for. If you're asking for $100,
yeah, no, there's a whole bunch of pitfalls there for sure.
Yeah, if you're asking for $100, yeah, stick it up. If you're asking for $100,000, I mean, I got contacted. I got contacted by a studio who were making a game. And they were launching a Kickstarter, and they said, "Would I promote their Kickstarter for them?" Okay, and I said, "Sure, no problems. I'll feature it on the channel. You know, that's fine." And I checked the Kickstarter out, and I replied straight away. I was like, "Don't run this. Is it live? Because don't run this. You're."
It just wasn't ready.
Well, they wanted $250,000.
Oh wow!
And I said,
for a game?
Yeah, and I said this is going to fail.
Jeez.
I was like, this will fail. I'm sorry.
No.
I'm not trying to be down on it. I said, but this will fail. I said, there's no way in a million years you're getting $250,000 from a little indie game, and I've never even heard. You haven't really got a following, really. I was like, yeah, we need that money for a big team to get the artists in and all. I was like, then Kickstarter's not the place for you.
Right. No, I mean you need to have things lined up, and you need to know what you're doing before you start. I've been studying Kickstarters for the last, like, I don't even know, since I heard about them, right? I started studying them. Because it just seemed like a viable option, and it seems less and less viable the more I sit and wait and research.
Well, the thing is, like people like Haiku the Robot and things like that.
Yeah, that's kind of my spark, That's like my spark of hope,
but
seeing people like that.
Yeah, but he was very good on the marketing. His Instagram was on fire, and it's because of his sort of cutesy character, very marketable, very easy. Because the Retro Spaceball, it's harder to market in that sort of cutesy factor because you don't have there's not like a main character.
Oh yeah, it's not cute at all.
Yeah, so it's like anything.
I'm terrible at cute.
Why do they still put women on the front of magazines? Because people,
it's becoming less and less.
I know, but why did they do it?
appealing.
But why did they do it for years? Because it's more appealing, easier. It's easier to market when you put a woman on the front. That's why. And it's the same with games. You just got to think as the cute character as the woman on the front.
Right. No, and a lot of people go for that, you know, like the game has to have a cute character or whatever, but like, you know, that's not every game, right? And there's no rules to indie, you know. But you're
No.
right. If you're trying to make money, that's how you make money.
Of course
I
it
mean,
does.
honestly, sex sells.
Of course
right?
it does. And again, cute
I'm
characters
terrible
sell.
at selling sex. I can't do it. You know, honest, like
Someone
when I
just-
was in art school,
Someone
one of
clip
my
that.
one of my illustration friends, I'm still friends with her on Facebook actually, and Instagram. Carla Wizgala, she's great. She's just fantastic. She does a lot of watercolor pinups, right?
Yep.
Just really beautiful, like mermaids or superheroes. Or she did like she's from Chicago, so she did like a Blackhawks thing, like sports stuff, you know, like just pinups, you know, really beautiful women, watercolors, and she's, you know, beautiful girl, you know, so it works with her whole aesthetic and stuff. But for me, I wouldn't feel right doing that. I don't just selling beautiful women, like that doesn't feel right to me.
No.
But you know, I can't say that what she's doing isn't right, because what she's doing is great. She's doing a great job. It's good art. I mean, they're beautiful women, and she's great. She's fantastic as a person. She's not trying to portray sex as in any one way or anything like that. She's just being herself. And then myself, I just don't draw sex. So
yeah, well, but again, so with Kickstarter, you just got to think: do you have the community already? You do need to. I'll tell you what, who's doing it. If you look at, it might be interesting to talk to is the Shrines Legacy. Do you follow that game at all?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
So
I haven't really looked at their whole Kickstarter campaign, but I was a little surprised to see that they had a Kickstarter.
Well, they haven't started it yet.
Okay.
What they're doing,
because it seemed like it might be kind of early for them.
Yeah,
but I haven't really looked that much into it.
Well, they're exactly. So what they've said is, you know, in rough terms, they want to get a certain amount of followers on Twitter first. They want to get a certain amount of things lined up before they think about launching the Kickstarter, which is sensible.
Yeah. 100%.
But it might be worth just talking to them to see what, as their numbers have grown on social, have their wish lists grown? Because are they actually on Steam or not?
Well, you know, as far as growth goes, I mean, I've got some pretty good comparisons just as far as with myself and different like business ventures I've tried in the past and stuff like that. I feel like Retro Spaceball is actually doing pretty good. People like it, and they like to tell me that they like it, which that's not always something I get. You know what I mean? I've been selling art for a long time, and I've been just like talking to different people about different stuff for a long time. I mean, I know people, so when people go out of their way to tell you that they really like something, and they make sure that you know that they mean it, it's like that's huge.
Well,
that doesn't always happen. You know?
Then you can test it yourself. Just literally ask your community. If I do a Kickstarter, anyone will be interested. See how many responses you get. Simple as that.
I did a poll, and it's like a 7-day poll, so I'm waiting on the answer. But it seems pretty high. There's already like 20 votes, and there was only like one that said no. So
yeah.
But 20 people can't run a Kickstarter, right?
No, exactly.
They can't fund a Kickstarter, right?
And if it runs for 30 days, you've got to think, okay, so you need to really build up beforehand that you've got a Kickstarter going. You know, you're gonna have to talk to, get videos out there, all that stuff.
It wouldn't be like, tomorrow my Kickstarter is going. It would be like next year probably.
Yeah. Just keep ramping up, keep the content coming, keep talking to people, podcast, all that sort of stuff, and then think about how much you actually need as well.
Right. And that's a huge thing, right? Because if I'm going to be working full time on the game, then some of my like rent and stuff is going to have to be covered, which is hard to do. It's hard to ask for that type of stuff, and it's hard to even, you know, like think of the numbers and figure out, you know, cost of living, because that's changes.
Part of it. That's part of it. You know, if people are backing a Kickstarter, it's so if I'm backing your game, I want it to be basically, I'm saying, right, stop doing, you know, rubbish work and get on with creating a game full time, because we want to play it quicker. You know, that's what they're paying for.
Or hire someone else.
Yeah,
right?
That's what you're paying for. Yeah. So why is this game taking so long to come out? Because I've got a full time job. Okay, well let me back you, so you can quit that job and then just go and work on a game full time, and that's what they're paying for. So that means you've got to work out how much time you need to finish the game, which means how much rent do you need to pay, how much food do you need to eat, and how much money do you need to spend on whether it's marketing or whether it's bringing in another programmer or whatever.
And then where that gets all complicated is with the rewards, right? Because all of a sudden, if you have like, oh, we're going to add this to the game because of the rewards, and you meet those, and then you're like, well, now I need this much more money because I need the game's going to take this much longer. I need to hire this, that.
Yeah, well, that's why they're stretch goals. That's why they're stretch goals, isn't it? So if you pay me another 5,000, yeah, and again, like I said,
I can't wait for the stress.
Oh no, I've got to send out 3,000 t-shirts. Oh crap!
The print on demand, I think, is going to save t-shirts and stuff, right? Because they don't have to go through me. Then they could just go through like an Etsy store or some shit like that. I don't know how it would work.
Holy crap! Etsy take a massive percentage, by the way. Oh my god. But
they have like a listing fee and then like a percentage.
They do. They do hammer you for you. But again, the point is not to make money from that. It's to give a reward to make people back you. I understand that, but
I'll figure out the best way to do it.
Yeah, but Kickstarter, I think it can work. Can be very good. Like I said, some people get backed in days. It's just some games just. Some games just catch people's imagination.
Like that match 3 game that did like crazy well. You know which one I'm talking about? It's like a lo-fi match 3. It just came out. It's all about being like a queer witch or something like that. It's it's definitely not my demographic, but like the more that I think about it, I'm like, I could use a match 3 game that's like decent. And like as far as like reference material goes, like things that do that well, that's good reference material for an indie. You know what I mean?
Definitely. But again,
it was funded like instant.
But I've seen games,
and now it's overfunded. Sorry, go ahead.
No. I've seen games on Kickstarter, and I've thought, wow, that is awesome, and they get nothing. And and that's something I don't really know what like Zapling. Bygone has just been backed, isn't it? There we go. Have you seen?
Did they get backed?
Yeah, it's been done. It's been.
That's so cool. I know they were really close the last time I saw a post about it, and I've been retweeting it.
Yes. It's got £12,285 of 9,250 gold. So he's over it now.
Oh wow!
So he's that's all backed. But it's interesting. Like I said.
So that's like 16 or 1,700 US.
Yes.
I just did a conversion.
Oh, okay. There you go. Yes, there you go. So just now he can work on it full time. That's a cool game. But again, easier to market because it's a very recognizable character.
Yeah, but $1,600 it really isn't very much.
16,000.
Like when I was
12,000.
12,000 pounds. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I totally
that's right.
That up.
12,000 is at £12,000 at the moment.
So that's I'm sorry. So $17,000.
Yeah. So again, but again,
so that would be helpful.
Again, that's not. But for £12,000, that's not even minimum wage in the UK.
No, that's about half of my budget right now.
Yeah. So you think £12,000, you think, okay, so can you live on that? And the thing is, that's not just spending money now. That's to get the game finished. So all the assets you've got to pay for, you got all the fees.
That's like your advertising fee.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it's cool. I mean, obviously that's what he asked for. He's only asked for £9,000.
No, I think 12 would be a little high for advertising. If you were like a AAA, 12 would be probably pretty normal just for advertising.
Oh, just for advertising.
But yeah. I am thinking of spending probably thousands on advertising in the end. Once things are like ready.
But then again, this is where the question of publishers come in, isn't it? When does it get to the point where you're better off finding a publisher to pay for that than you?
I did something really weird the other day. I just out of the blue just went and submitted my game to a publisher. Like,
oh, cool.
well, I can't even think of the word. It was just like out of nowhere, right?
Okay.
Team 17 was doing their, like, they were trying to get more people to submit. I guess they were getting low submission rates or something, and they had someone tweet about it, like, "Oh, show me what you got," or something like that, kind of thing. But it was Team 17, which I'm sure you're familiar with. They do
yeah.
like Worms, right?
Of course.
Yeah. So, and they're of course UK, but they publish all over the world. So
Yeah, it doesn't matter where you're from, does it? I mean, that's
right. And that would be a good mix. My game. I've been looking at publishers this whole time, and there's very few that my game would actually work well with that I think I would work with.
Yeah, well, that's why I want to speak to more publishers.
I think Tiny Build would be great.
Okay,
Tiny Build.
Yeah.
And then something like Devolver, that would be impossible to turn down, right?
Yeah, I mean,
that's not something that gets offered.
No, yeah, they're the barely indie anymore, are they? Aren't they going public? Aren't they going IPO?
Oh, I have not heard that news.
Yeah, I think they are. It might be completely lies, but I'm
interesting.
sure they are.
That might be a weird move for them. I don't really know, because their like whole thing was based on being kind of edgy and weird, right? So
yeah, but they've got so big now.
They did. I mean, it's weird though, because publishers are still kind of like an unknown thing for a lot of gamers, where they see them as developers. They say, "Oh, it's a Devolver game. It's got to be good."
Yeah, exactly.
It's made by the same people. It's made by the Devolver people.
Yeah, you go, "Oh, I'll check that out."
Which isn't really true. It's made by whoever the developer is.
Which means well,
Devolver just put their sticker on it.
Devolver Digital is reportedly preparing to go public on the London Stock Exchange with a valuation that could reach £1 billion.
Oh, so you're gonna buy some?
3 days ago, that was. Am I gonna buy some? Yeah, well, maybe. I think they get enough of my money, but I might. But yeah, like you said,
I don't have any stock.
No,
none.
Yeah, I've got some.
I thought about investing, but I'd rather just invest in myself. I feel a lot safer doing that.
Yes, I understand, but I've got a little chunk in there in some various.
I have like a 401k, but it's like
we don't have
whatever.
that. I don't know what that does. What is that?
Oh, that's right. It's like a retirement savings plan where they lump your stuff in with other stocks and stuff like that, and they have someone like look over these lump stocks, and I don't know the technical terms.
It's like a pension then, basically.
Yeah, essentially.
Okay. Yeah. So publishers are weird. That's why I want to speak to more of them, because again,
they're all different. As
I keep saying, they're all different. Everybody seems to hate them.
They're not all bad.
No, exactly. But I want to speak to the ones that aren't bad. I want to actually hear them.
I think what's interesting is that when you're an indie and you don't like publisher relationships, that's when you kind of self-publish. And if you continue to self-publish and you make good relationships, like with other people that don't like those bad publisher relationships, then that's when I think you become like an indie publisher. So I think those are the good ones to look for. So you kind of almost have to know the history of a publisher before you can judge whether they're a good publisher to work with or not. But then also you have to look at their trajectory too, because a lot of these publishers are just trying to make money. And yeah, maybe they were great 5 years ago, but they're just trying to make money now,
It's a fine, again, like we said, I'm all for people making money, because that's what we're here to do. That's why a lot of people are doing it. We need money to live. That's no problem. But like I said,
but when you're just making money,
yeah, exactly. It's just like, what are you actually doing to do it? Dark Blitz, finally home from work to watch. Oh, well, I'm glad you raced home especially for it. Welcome along. Yeah. So, but again, what I find weird is, like I said, how sort of inactive the publishers are. I thought my feed would be like swamped full of publishers and like trying to define that next game, talking to everybody, asking me questions about any games that I've found, or whatever. And not just, I'm not saying I've got a big following, but I thought one or two might have spoken to me once in over a year. But they're just so inactive. I've sent messages to loads of them as well. Most of them don't reply.
Are you familiar with was it like Scrooge McDuck or something like that? The duck that had all the money, right?
Yeah.
Disney duck, right?
Yeah.
It's like that, except each of his coins in his vault is an indie game. You know what I mean? Like there's just a sea of indies out there. So like anyone who makes money off of indies, they don't have to really try when it comes to finding what they're looking for. They just look out there and say, hey, not you. And then they've got what they need. You know what I mean?
And I'm sure that they're all the publishers are fighting over the same games, because it's clear some games are obviously going to be hits. You can see the quality in some games. It just now and again they just jump out and go, well, that's going to be a hit for somebody. And then I assume the publishers are just scrambling around to try and get deals done with them. But
there's something underground that's happening where these teams are like, it's like superheroes, right? Where like you get your superhero team together, right? Your Avengers or whatever. Yeah. And that's when you make your dream game, and all the publishers, like, you're turning heads. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
And then you can pick and choose your best deal. That's kind of the dream, I think, but it's really difficult to make it there, right? I mean, first of all, who has those types of friends where someone's going to call you up and be like, hey, you want to work on this game that's going to just like rock the charts next year? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Most of those jobs are really hard to get.
And I can appreciate their the sort of trouble they must have. Fascinating topic. Tetra. I can't say that. I can't say your name.
Tertiary map.
Tertiary map. What's that? Should I know what that is?
Tertiary, like tertiary color.
What's that?
You've got your primary colors, your secondary colors, your tertiary colors.
News to me. But welcome.
So it's like a third, like secondary, thirdary.
Thirdary. I'm going for. Learn something new every day.
I think that's what it is. I've just been guessing this whole time. I've seen tertiary map around, so cool. That's how I say it in my head.
We'll go with that. But again, so I understand that the publishers are going to be fighting over the games, and I almost think like, are they looking at the indie scene like I looked at Itch earlier? I was just like, oh my god, there's so much crap out there. It's really hard to sift through all the stuff. Oh yeah, for sure. And we're knocking on doors. You know what I mean? It's not just me. I'm not really. Other than Team 17. Yeah, but exactly. How many emails do they get? I mean, again, I just do videos and I get crap tons of emails and DMs. So I can imagine what it's like. I'm not even doing anything. So publishers
I get them too. I'm a developer, and I got other developers coming at me with that stuff. So.
Dark Blitz.
I know exactly what you mean.
I was considering jumping into the chat as well, but don't want to be. There's no. Go for it, dude.
No, don't. Come on in, Dark Blitz.
We're just nattering. Everybody's welcome. Whoever wants to join the Discord, jump in. I would link it, but you can find me on Twitter. You can find the Discord link. It's on my pinned post. But jump in, yeah. We're just chatting. Don't just leave me and Rick to chat, because we can both chat for. I was going to say chat for Britain, but chat for Earth. What's the global equivalent of that? Chat for the planet.
For the Federation.
Yeah, we'll just keep nattering all day. That's why the first podcast episode was about an hour and 45 minutes long.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I think we can chat. We can chat. Yeah.
Yeah, jump in. Tell us what you're doing.
Hey, that was me on YouTube.
How's it going?
Darkwoods. It's good. How's everything with you guys?
Great.
Well, we're just putting publishers to the sword,
Yes. I was listening to. I got in just as you were mentioning Devolver and all that, and I was like, oh, I like Devolver. And then you mentioned later, but everybody hates developers or publishers, and I was like, well, I can see that too.
Well, the thing is, I think we all love Devolver.
Yeah,
but-
Devolver gets away with whatever they want.
Yeah, but they've become a giant, haven't they? And the fact that they're going, if they're going public, shows how big they've got.
Yeah.
But again, bravo, good. That's great for
Yeah,
them.
we'll
Awesome.
see what happens.
Oh, I think I can hear my 3-year-old again.
Oh,
Whoa.
take your time.
I can. Be right back. Sorry, pardon me. guys.
Okay.
Chat amongst
Well,
yourself.
at least I have someone to
You can
talk to.
You can, yeah.
Yeah.
I can watch it back. No slagging me off, all right.
So, what are you working on?
Oh, I was gonna ask you because I think I came in too late to see what you had.
Oh, I'm working on Retro Spaceball, which is a shoot 'em up pinball kind of game. Pretty unique.
Retro Spaceball.
Yeah, I'm on itch. I'm working on getting the Steam store up right now, but I'm trying to make the trailer, really pop and stuff.
Oh yeah, I see it. Oh, that looks really cool. I like that.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm coming up on 4 years on it. But it's been part-time. I'm just now starting full-time development, so we'll see how long that lasts before I start working again. But
Well, I hope it lasts until the game releases, and hopefully for the foreseeable future after that.
oh man, that would be so cool.
This is, you know what it reminds me of a lot, and it's a game that I've never really seen the concept get done a lot of is Sonic Spinball.
Yes, I'm so glad
To
you
where
said that.
they had the
yeah.
one genre game, and then you put it in the someone got pinball in my in my insert game genre here, but
Yeah.
I've never seen it for a shmup. That looks so cool.
Thanks. Yeah, no, it's free if you want to check out the beta on itch.
Oh, yeah,
I had a web build up, but it got too big for the web build, so it kind of outgrew it. And downloads have kind of slowed since, but it's people who play it, they seem to like it. So I've got a little Discord going. It's quiet, but it's strong with people. There's a lot of DMs that go around.
Yeah, I just recently got a good influx of users on my Discord for my project, and I was super shocked. But it was a good get
That's
off my butt
awesome.
and start working more on my project, and that was I've actually gotten a lot of progress done in the past few days as a result of it. So I'm pretty happy.
And what's the title of your game? Is it Dark Blitz or no?
Yeah, the title of the game is Dark Star.
Oh, Dark
And
Star.
that is it's currently, I don't have any downloads available on itch or anything like that. It's hosted currently, I've got it on IndieDB, and it is a Beyond game from the Build Your Own Net Dream.
Oh. All right, I'm taking a look at IndieDB right now.
And I haven't
Oh wow.
an updated
So-
page in a hot minute.
So it's a side-scrolling shooter.
Yes.
I think? Okay.
Heavily inspired by Metroid, a little bit of Halo, and also a good deal of Dead Space in there as well.
It looks great.
Thank you. It's I've got a whole lot of new stuff that I've got to load onto the IndieDB page, because I've got at least 2 articles worth of changes in content that I've made to post on there.
Awesome.
So
Yeah, my IndieDB is kind of lacking too. It's hard to keep up with everything, right?
Yeah, that's why not last one, but a couple of these chats ago, these hangouts, we were discussing different sites that can help you with like spreading information and preparing like packages for media. And
Cool.
we were talking about Canva. And
Yeah, no, I've heard of that.
I bet once he's back, he'll be like, oh yeah, Canva for 100%, because it's you upload the images and then you just select the format and it allows you to like tweak the surrounding on it and then just immediately send it over to that. So you
Very
don't need
cool.
to make individual images for each. You can just upload one and then format it right then and there.
Wow. So is Darkstar on itch?
No,
No.
I've got to set it up on there. The main reason why is because in order to I don't know how to package Beyond properly yet to make it like a standalone. I know that it's possible.
Okay.
But there's I'm speaking to some members of the community towards getting that put together so I can wrap it in a nice little bow so that I can put it on
In an
ish, and
executable.
then because I've got an executable working, but it still references all the Beyond stuff and it needs a Beyond install. So it's like, I know there's a way around it. I just can't figure out how right now.
No, that's that. I remember when I first started working with like Game Maker before it was Game Maker Studio, like way back in the day. It was kind of like that, and I had a lot of trouble and all the stuff that I made I can't access anymore. It's but whatever. I was just like learning with all that stuff anyways. So
yeah, I tried learning with, because I initially started with Beyond and I tried moving over to Game Maker, and I was about halfway through progress on something and I just couldn't wrap my head around the difference between impulse and like velocity or whatever. So it's just like, oh, just put a little bit of movement or put a constant amount of movement or whatever, and I kept switching them up and I couldn't get movement right, and I was just like, I'm just going back to Beyond. I probably shouldn't have done that.
yeah, that's something that's like a kind of cross-platform, I guess, right? It might be different across platforms, but I know in Unity it's the same way, where if you want to just give it an impulse, then it would be like one frame, and then velocity is like it's changing the parameter of how quickly it's moving, so it's going to stay that way, kind of thing. But yeah, you pick up that stuff the more you're around it. I didn't have any coding background at all when I started.
I'm back, by the way. Hello. Sorry.
Hey, welcome back.
Hey, welcome back.
I missed all the interesting. So just repeat that last 5 minutes, yeah.
We've been talking about Darkstar.
Yeah.
Let me find.
We retreaded, I guess, a little bit on the retro spaceball because I wanted to see, because I came in a little bit too late for it, so I checked it out. That looks super cool. Then we were mentioning we started talking about Darkstar, which is my project.
Do you have a link? Do you have a link to it? I'm trying to find it in. Did you put it in Discord? I can't remember if you ever shared it.
It was, but it was a while back, so I can post
It won't let
a newer one in.
Yeah, let's have a look.
I'll put it in share your game.
I'll have a look while we're nattering.
So what kind of language does Beyond use?
It is a proprietary language called DM, but as far as I know, it's based heavily on C++. So it's either that or it's ActionScript. I can't remember the specifics.
I used to do some ActionScript.
So that's old, isn't it? ActionScript. I remember that.
Yeah, well, there was I was learning ActionScript 2.0 as 3.0 came out. I remember that, but yeah, it's not a used language anymore.
Darkstar. Let's have a look.
Well, it was like a Flash language, right?
Yeah.
And now Flash is like gone. No more Flash.
Yeah, need.
I miss Flash, to be honest.
I don't. It can burn. Bloody thing.
Oh my gosh. I remember making a Flash website for my portfolio back in the day, and I never finished it.
Yeah, I studied.
I spent so much time on it.
I did Flash animation and multimedia at college. It was just a pain in the backside. Oh God.
With what was movie clips, right?
Oh, all sorts. Yeah. Oh yeah, learning onion skinning and clips, and I was oh for God. So and then it takes about 3 weeks to load anything with the crappy internet. So I'm glad it's gone.
Oh yeah, the loading was terrible.
So Dark Star. Okay, so look, okay.
And there's
yes.
In reference to the Flash thing, I actually found out there's a lot of Flash games that share a striking resemblance to how Dark Star is ending up looking, and I was like, I'm just looking through 3 or 4 different titles, which like the general kind of layout and the character movement and weapons feel very similar, and I'm like, oh, did I accidentally stumble across the same kind of art and movement and gameplay style that a bunch of other games did? And I'm not bothered by that at all, because from what people tell me of those games, I go, oh yeah, they were super fun. We used to play those all the time. So I'm kind of excited for that.
So if I download Beyond for free, I can then play your game?
Yes. The game doesn't require accounts or anything to play. The only thing that you might want to account for is if you wanted to jump on the multiplayer that is built in with Beyond, because they have their own like account systems that you can play multiplayer games. Otherwise, if you try to jump into a game, it gives you just like a guest name on there.
So what's
But your game's not multiplayer, right?
Not yet.
Not yet.
It will be.
Interesting.
It technically is, but it's not really set up for it. I would say
That's
maybe
okay.
like hardcore, but
it sounds like something that's difficult to do.
yeah, it's set up for it. So like for example, right now, if you downloaded the alpha, if you had an account on Beyond, you could host your own server. Other people could join you, and then you could play a co-op on the 2 missions that are there in the alpha test. The ultimate plans is that there's going to be missions which are very similar to the 2 that are in the alpha currently. There's going to be a large map for a campaign, and then there's also going to be multiplayer maps, and that's all going to be PvP, possibly PvE, like horde modes and stuff like that.
So why would you use the custom engine? What was there a decision? Did I miss that bit?
It's Beyond is the engine.
But why choose that? I mean, is there any reason you chose that?
The primary reason for it is because all the networking code is kind of built in. I don't have to mess with any of the networking stuff for people to be able to just host a server and others to connect to.
That's cool.
Really?
And the main reason why I wanted to do that is because I work for a living in networking, and I know how much of a pain in the butt it can be. And I just like, look, I'm frustrated enough by trying to figure out how these animations are supposed to play and how to rig these pieces and little bits all together to make cool little effects. So I'd rather just not have to deal with all the trouble that networking and multiplayer might bring. So
that's really intimidating. Right? Because you're like a network person, and you're saying, you know what, game networks, nah, not for me.
Well,
I mean, the concept behind it is that it's like, okay, you have to tailor when you're working on like a custom setup, you have to tailor what information gets sent out at one time and make sure that nothing desyncs across, multiple servers or multiple instances. And I'm just like,
right.
Yeah, you know what? This is all built into Beyond, and I'm really, really comfortable and familiar with Beyond, so I'm just going to keep going with it.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Where did the comfortability come from? Just from years of use, or?
Years of use, yeah. I used to play games on Beyond way back in the long ago of the early 2000s.
That's so cool.
And
I hadn't even heard of it until a few years ago.
They used to have a bunch of fan games for like Naruto and Dragon Ball Z and stuff like that. And I was at the time where I was just very into those things, so I played those.
Oh, okay.
And then eventually I was like, well, I want to make a game of my own. And I started messing with it, and I was like, okay. And just slowly but surely over the course of the next 15 years or so, I've just built up this knowledge base that's kind of like, okay, well, I could move to another more capable system, but I'm so familiar with this one, and the current lead designer that's working on the engine is doing an amazing job at adding features. And I feel like the capability of the engine is coming up to the point that I could fairly make anything that I want to, given the scope of where I want to take the project. So
Yeah, I mean,
I'm happy staying with.
there's no point relearning something brand new when you already have a good working knowledge of something that does what you want anyway. I mean, it looks gorgeous, by the way. I'm loving the art style.
Thank you.
Great. I just saw the
I was gonna ask,
anti-gravity.
did you do the art yourself?
The only thing that I didn't do the art for was for the main character, because I don't know how to draw bodies at all.
Okay.
So like the base
like the spiders
armor
and stuff.
Yeah, so the spiders and stuff like that, and the monsters, I did all those. But yeah, that main character, I couldn't get it down after several tries, so I
very detailed.
I messaged someone else that was on Beyond, and I was like, hey, you know how to do art, right? And we worked out an agreement. He made the character for me, and it was just a flat 2D sprite, and I cut it up and set all the limbs up and got it moving.
The lighting's really good. I'm loving it, especially with the bullet recall. We've actually got the flash in the darkness. Looks lovely. Great work.
Yeah, thank you. There's a bunch of weapons and lighting effects that are not displayed on any of those videos. Like that's all mainly stuff that I've been working on, but I haven't updated that. And I was mentioning earlier, in about a month, I think, was the last time I posted, and I've got a lot more stuff now that my Discord has been seeing some traffic, so that has inspired me to do some work, and I've got some cool stuff on there, so I'm pretty hyped for it.
So how far along is the project? As far as like how many years spent?
I'm about 4 years in on it now, but
wow,
another one.
I'm about 4
These
years in
things
on it
take
now,
time.
but the initial progress that I made towards the project, I didn't have a clear idea of what I wanted to do. So for the first 2 years, I made a couple of like test rigs, and I think you were looking at some of the earlier stuff on the YouTube channel that I had. And it was just like very basic stuff, and it kind of stayed as very basic stuff for about a year and a half. And then I was like, okay, I can do this. I'm comfortable with this. I'm gonna push forward. I've got the lighting looking the way I want it to, and I can expand on it and make it a little bit more interesting. So I started going more in earnest, and this is where I'm at now.
It's a 2D sci-fi horror shooter. Oh, just reading the little blurb now.
Yeah,
And
with
then
networked multiplayer.
Yeah, as we know now.
And then in terms of just total progress on the game, I'd say it's probably about 10% done. But I'm really focusing very, very hard on systems and how everything's supposed to work. And then I'm going to plug in all the content after I'm comfortable with that.
That's a good way to do it. So we don't have to redo anything.
Yeah, that's the thing I'm trying to avoid the most, because I've had to do that before on older projects, to go back and redo the whole thing, and it made me drop a project that I had been working on for 2 years because it was
just too
such
much
a monumental task.
I can relate to that so much. Every word of that.
Studio Primitive, this is Dark Star. It's in the Discord under the share my game if you want to check it out. Sorry, just replying to chat.
And I think I can, I don't know if it'd be worth it to post a link to the Discord or not, or I don't know if that's...
Yeah, you can post whatever.
Yeah.
Again, you won't be able to in YouTube because they just block everything. You can't share anything, I'm afraid. But yeah, in the Discord,
Right.
You can share whatever you want in our Discord. There's no problem.
All right, I'll post it on the share your game section as well.
Yeah,
just the link to the Discord.
Absolutely.
And but yeah, in terms of the systems, like the internals and how that's all working, I would say I'm probably about 70% done.
Okay.
Awesome.
So working on content is going to be, I know, the hardest part for me because I've got a bunch of enemies already. I think there's only been 5 or 6 really featured in any of the IndieDB articles, but I've got something like 15 or 16 enemies already built in against a schedule of like 40 or 50, depending on where I go, because I have some ideas for like subtypes of enemies and like alternate versions.
What are you doing about? So as we were talking about publishing and marketing, how are you attacking both of those? Are you looking for a publisher?
I have no idea. Well, I did earlier today. I went and I set up a website for it, which is, if you go there, all it says is under construction.
Looking now.
But I did purchase a domain name, and I'm going to be using that to spread the information, since it's a more I'm basically going to use it as a jumping off point where it's going to have links for everything. It's going to go to the Beyond page, it's going to go to the IndieDB page, it's going to go to the Discord server.
As we were talking about earlier, yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing at the minute as well. I'm sick of sending people all over the place.
Yeah. So that's my plan right now for marketing, is to work on putting that together. I'm still going to be updating on the IndieDB page and on posting progress updates and things like that on the Discord. But as for publishing, I'm not sure. I do have a waiting setup going for Steam Greenlight.
Okay.
I got it set up a while ago, and I just haven't posted the game to it yet.
That's where Retro Spaceball is too.
You're both in the same boat there, yeah.
It's like almost ready to go.
Yeah, once I'm comfortable with it, I figure once I get to the beta stage, which the beta stage will have, that I plan to have to come out in the next 6 months or so, and
Exciting.
that would be it's going to be 3 or 4 missions, including the ones that are available now. It's going to be about an hour of campaign gameplay, and it's going to be 3 multiplayer maps for PvP.
Very cool. Just be.
Yeah, you know, I was gonna say, I think this is gonna do really well on itch. You know, I think that if you've got a Discord with like people, you know, actively playing and stuff, networks, gameplay, I think it'd do well.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, just don't be too scared to share too early. You know, I mean, I say, like we were talking about earlier, you know, it doesn't have to be the joy of indie is people feel like they're involved. So even early screenshots of where, you know, you've just got a basic, you know, people would love to see that. So it doesn't, don't be scared about getting it to a point where you're ready to release it almost. It's ready, you know, the beta's ready to be released. Because you got to remember that you might release the beta tomorrow and go, right, here's the beta, and everyone's like, who the hell are you? Where's this game come from? Do you know what I mean? Because you know, you got to remember that, you know, most people aren't going to know who you are. So it doesn't hurt to start sharing in the Twitter and the hashtags and all that rubbish, just so people keep seeing you. Just put it in their subconscious. No, it's right. Just put it in their subconscious. You know, because people don't expect to see completed games from indie developers. They want to see the stickman prototypes. That's the joy of it. So don't be afraid.
Is the game on Twitter? Sorry.
No, I don't have a Twitter for it.
Oh, you don't? You should totally get it on Twitter.
But do you have a studio account for Twitter?
I don't either.
Okay, then that is job number one. If you use Twitter, but you really should if you're a developer, because it's so good. The community's so active. Really.
You know, I have friends that say like, oh, you know, I just don't like Twitter. It's not for me. What my advice is, and they don't always take it. My advice is to just follow the hashtags that are for indie games. There's so much other crap on Twitter. If you avoid that, you're golden, because it's the indie stuff. That's really all Twitter's good for. And there's some great gaming and some great streamers and great voice actors and stuff like that. But if you start with the indie, you'll start to get the goodness out of it, and then you can start to notice that there's other, because you can get off track if you go too far off the deep end. There's
Yeah.
like Fortnite streamers everywhere, you know.
Yeah, there are. But the thing is, you got to remember, yeah, that it's Twitter is where content creators and writers and publishers hang out.
Exactly.
That's where they hang
Yes.
out. And there's even
And we talk.
yeah, and there's pixel art hashtags for people just looking for pixel art. So you're sort of crossing a lot of different niches there. You know, you've got the pixel art hashtags, you've got the indie developer hashtag, you've got the upcoming games. You've got there's so much, and people are always looking for new games. And
Not to mention, there could be beyond developers that
Yeah.
have a small community that would be interested to see that there's another one that they haven't met you yet, or maybe they know you from beyond on the forum or whatever. You know, I don't know.
yeah, Twitter's
I'm kind of. I wouldn't say I'm really well known. I'm beyond. I'm a little well known, but there's definitely other devs that are on beyond that doing amazing things too. And if I can share and get them to get some interaction going on Twitter as well, that would probably definitely help to spread my name on Beyond as well. So.
Yeah.
And I think there might be beyond like Reddit or something too. Like that would make sense, right? Like a subreddit.
Mhm.
And then I know there's a Discord. I think, unless I'm losing it, like a Beyond Discord. I think because they've got like a Unity channel.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, I'll post to the Unity channel.
yeah. Just again, like as I always say, marketing can't wait. You can't wait to market it. You've got to get it. I know it's a lot of developers don't like doing it, and
it's difficult.
and it's difficult, and no one likes doing it and stuff. But
Mhm.
if no one knows about your game, no one's going to play it.
True.
So
yeah, I think it's, and I'm probably falling to this kind of not good thinking. If I know it's terrible phrasing, but that I'm kind of worried about getting caught with my pants down, so to speak, in terms of how I'm putting out. It's like, okay, look at this one. This is what I'm working on. You're seeing the back end of the game, and
Yeah.
I guess I'm worried about breaking some kind of illusion of presentation for the game. But you make a very good point that people who want to play indie games and enjoy indie games, they're looking for that interaction. They're looking to be part of the project. They're looking to feel like they're involved. And in many cases they are involved, because I've taken a huge number of suggestions from the people in the Discord channels, and
and you'll get more of that on
they've
Twitter.
helped the game be better.
Yeah, exactly. And again, as Studio in the chat says, market from day one. Yeah, and again, a cheesy line I'm going to use that I use a lot is marketing starts on the first day, not release day. There's no point in telling everyone when you finished it. Absolutely. People love seeing the back end of the game. Tell your story. That's what people love about indies, says Studio. Yeah, exactly. And again, the thing is, I understand that people like the presentation, and of course, I do the same. Because when we put a video out, I don't show all the times I've cocked up the intro and stuff. But some people like to see those mistakes, But
I wasn't expecting you to say that.
well, so
it's true though.
Yeah, I always
bloopers do well.
Yeah, I always cock up the intro. I'm always saying like, "Oh, what am I doing?" And I put my head in my hand. I'm like, "For God's sake, next one." But people like to see that stuff, and the same with games, And if they feel like they can, because some games get really, people really connect with certain games. Space games, especially the space genre, is a very popular passion.
Oh yeah.
Pixel art is a very popular passion. Horror is a very popular passion. There's streamers that just stream horror games.
There are.
So like
it's super popular right now.
You got Reanimate Her on Twitch. She's a really good streamer, and she just plays horror games. And get into them. Say, hey, look, I'm working on this game. It's not ready yet, but would you be interested in streaming it one day? And it just keeps that connection going. And then
also retro. It's because it's
retro.
pixel art.
It's like you cross so many genres. It's great. You'd be great on Twitter. And again, as you see, it's you don't have to keep creating new content all the time, because again, apologies for repeating myself, everybody, but you can Twitter. you don't have to post new GIFs every single day. You can reuse the same GIFs you've got and just post them at different times, because it's a news feed, Twitter. It just scrolls past. You see a tweet for like, I mean, you know, if I scroll past my Twitter now, there's a little GIF here. Oh, it's gone. It's reloaded. It's gone. I'm not going to scroll down hundreds and hundreds of posts to see that picture again. But if you post it tomorrow, I might see it next time. So you can keep posting the same GIFs and pictures and artwork all the time, and people won't get sick of it because they won't see it. Most people won't see your tweets the first time round. So, which means you don't have to keep creating new ones, is what I'm saying. So don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to share stuff.
And then for people who have seen them multiple times before, they can identify that GIF like, oh, it's about this game. They don't even have to look at the name. They don't have to look at the, before even reading about, they don't even see the hashtags. They just see that GIF playing and they're like, oh yeah, I saw that one before. It's a new post about, progress.
I've done it. I've seen it. I've seen a game go past.
What I've been doing to take things, and this is something like a revelation that I've come across the last couple of years using social media, is that what I try to do now is I really push for interactions, right? Because if I'm interactive, then that puts out a vibe of interactivity. So I try to be as interactive as I can. I've been bad about commenting, but I'm getting better about commenting. So I find other people's stuff and comment on it and like it when I feel like genuinely doing so. Yeah. If I have the time, right? That's always the hardest part, is finding the time. But you do that, and people are more inclined to check on your stuff. And I can't tell you how helpful that is. You know what I mean? So yeah, just going around and liking people's pinned posts and stuff like that.
Just flags your name up to them all the time. Yeah. Again, and also things like Studio in the chat here is saying, again, joining. Again, I'm not saying my streams, but anybody's. But joining the chats for streams, I keep seeing, Rick here. I see Rick in a lot of live streams, and I see Studio Primitive in all the live streams, and I just keep noticing. I keep noticing the names all the time. So as a content creator and a streamer, if I'm looking for a game to stream, I'll go, I wonder where Studio's at. What's Rick doing right now? Whatever it is, it just keeps me in my mind all the time. And so Studio's saying here that you can't get sick of talking about your own game or putting yourself out there, which I assume you love your game. So
it's branding.
So exactly. People love seeing the back end of the game. Tell your story. We've seen that. Look at that! Studio's even promoting me here. Listen to Indie Gaming X podcast. Trista Bites. That's a good point, actually.
I heard that one. Yeah, that was a good one.
So she is a really good content creator, and
she's fantastic.
And she does presenting TV shows and streams and YouTube videos.
A true professional.
Yeah, proper, not like cowboys like me here. She's actual. She knows what she's doing. But she came on the podcast and she was explaining what content creators look for in indies. So, and how to contact content creators and what you should be doing. So that's a really good episode to listen to.
A really good one. Good for sure. I'm at that stage too. I need to start reaching out more.
There you go. Some of the best tweets are funny bugs in the game. Yeah, there you go. If
absolutely.
If your character's if his leg falls off, post it.
Well, that old project that I had that I had to give up on. I did have a Twitter for that one. But that was before I knew, which hashtags to use and anything like that. I wasn't familiar with Twitter at all. And one of the first tweets that I had made, which actually got me noticed, was exactly that. It was a tweet about a bug in the game where when you kill the first boss in the game, it's just supposed to tilt and fall over, but for some reason its eyes spun around in its head as well. And it was hilarious.
Yeah, there you go.
And I left it in the project because it's like, no, that's absolutely, it made me smile to see that happen. So
and people will remember that. Exactly. So you've got the whole idea. You just need to, and again, please create your account that makes sense. Please pick a name that makes sense. Oh my god!
I've heard you rant on this.
Oh my god! It drives me mad. I always rant about this.
And another thing, use your game name or your studio name, because Rick Oakland, no one knows who the hell I am.
yeah, Rick, sort it out. Come on. So yeah, pick whether it's like if you plan on doing more games, just pick your studio name. That's no problem, because you can always change your name temporarily in the title anyway to, you know, put your game name in there, or pick the game name.
No, my studio has a Twitter.
How does it?
Yeah, it's
Go
got
on.
like 400 followers or something.
Oh no, what's the studio? What's I can't think now.
It's Wave Games. I think it's one word.
You think it's one word?
WAVGAMES.
Yeah.
No, wait, there's two of us? That's not me.
Too popular, look.
Oh, it's underscore. There's an underscore. WAV_GAMES. Oh, I've got 382 followers. But I'm not very active on this account. Mostly I just retweet my Rick Oakland account.
Wave Games.
It's got a picture of Retro Spaceball.
I can't. Well, I'll look for that. But anyway, yeah, just highly recommend you get Twitter going.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And just enjoy it. Like I said, the dev community is really cool, really positive. You'll get loads of help and feedback. People sharing your stuff as well. There's accounts that just share awesome gifts. So go for it. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Rick Oakland is such a slick name. It sounds like a rock star name.
You'll have to thank my uncle. I'm actually named after my uncle, his name is Richard Oakland. So.
Oh, well, Richard is the name of a
kind
king.
of a weird thing.
Name of kings, isn't it?
That's what they say.
That's what I say when everyone asks me.
I like Marsh though.
You
You know,
like-
there was a girl named Marsh that I had a crush on. I remember in like junior high. Back
Whoa,
in
whoa,
the
whoa,
day.
whoa! Where's
It's
this
weird
going?
how you remember things like that. Well, Marsh is a fairly common name. It's a good name.
Yeah. It's got called Marshmallow Man at school. That's all.
Oh, I shouldn't be giving up your personal information. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Oh my god.
I forgot you're on the witness protection program.
I am. But yeah. Oh, I'm looking forward to the Twitter account. Come on, the Dark Star. What is your studio?
Yeah.
Do you have a studio? Have you created a studio for yourself? Or
The name that I've been running with for a while, but that I've pretty much never put into to use for any projects is Legacy Productions.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go for it. We want to see this.
I always like productions.
We want to see.
You know,
it.
like when
Yeah.
you put productions at the end, I always like that.
It sounds fancier.
Sounds
I
like-
was like, people will believe that this is something interesting if I put Productions at the end of it.
Right.
Right. So obviously, Legacy Productions will be taken because it's too long for Twitter. It's too many words.
Yeah.
But you could do like, you know, productions. You could like, I don't know, make that tiny somehow. PRDCS.
Or just like
I don't know.
Legacy Pro or something like that.
There you go.
Yeah. Or Leg Pro. It sounds like a fitness account.
Or just or leg products.
Leg Productions.
Yeah.
Legacy Pro. Legacy
Um,
Pro.
We produce legs.
Pro,
Yeah.
pro legs. Well, yeah. Well, okay. We'll make sure you tag us when you set it up, because you're going to, and I want to
Yeah.
see the gifs
Absolutely.
and pinned
I'll
tweet.
have to
Oh,
put one together. It looks good.
please pin a tweet as well. There's my other tip. First,
Oh yeah, definitely.
tweet.
If you once you get a trailer up, put that on your pinned tweet
pin
with the
tweet.
link to the
Yeah,
game.
There you go. Link to the game, contact, whatever you want to put on there, so people can see it straight.
Yeah.
away.
The trailer business is I have in my mind the concept for a trailer from a game that would be fantastic, and I think it would drive forward the feel of the game perfectly. The only problem is that the music choice for the game or for the trailer in my mind fits so well, and I refuse to change it. But it's a song from a very, very, very popular group, or very, very popular artist, I should say.
Okay.
So it's like, I don't think I can do that. And I've
No.
actually like requested, hey, what's the licensing situation around this? And they told me it was going to be a couple of $1,000, and I was like, ooh.
Might not be worth it.
Yeah, that's money
Yeah,
better
so
spent.
I'm
Yeah.
it's gonna
Depends
be
on the
rough
song.
figuring out. Yeah, I did see a really good. I can't recall where I heard it from, but they were saying that when you want to use a piece of music, because it fits really well with whatever you're doing, what you can do instead is to make a song that sounds similar. It's original, but it doesn't have the same notes, doesn't have the same beats. It's just a little bit off. But for the sake of what you want to do, because you can edit the video to snap around the beats of the new, entirely new song, that it should get that same feel out of it. And I was thinking of doing that same thing, but I have no idea how to use Fruity Loops or any of those music programs. So I'm just like, that's rough.
You know, there are a ton of composers out there right now.
We're going to go back.
And I don't mean to sell people short. You should definitely pay people what they're worth, but there are a ton out there. So you might be able to get a price that works for your projects. You know what I mean? So I would just keep looking. And yeah, you're definitely right. You can totally write music to a vibe. 100%.
And we got like Hexencraft, haven't you, on Twitter? He's a great game music creator.
I am in chats with one who's made a few tracks pro bono, and I really want to pay them for something, and they're like, no, I'm just practicing right now, but they're really cool. I have to talk them up more and get. I'm kind of when it comes to meeting new people, I'm always like, is it okay for me to talk to you and exist? I'm a little bit on the shy side, so it's always rough for me to, even with people I've been talking with for a while, to get into a conversation and collaborate and stuff. So
well, again, it's
I
a different.
Definitely have to speak to them more.
I'm as I've gone past 40 now, I've hit the start. I was always shy as a kid, really shy. But now I've gone to the age now where I just don't care anymore. So I just bludgeon my way in and then say, it's easier to apologize than it is to ask for permission, as they say. So just
That's a good way to put it.
Just bludgeon your way in, talk to people. Again, if I don't want to talk to you, there'll be someone else. That's the thing. You got to remember, that sounds a bit mean, but you're better off. You're better off just talking to everybody and then just see who talks back to you, rather than just trying to pick the perfect person.
Yeah, be yourself rather than worrying about what other people want you to be.
Yeah,
very true.
But again, I know it's difficult and that's why developers don't usually do wonderful jobs at marketing, because it's not their skill set. That's why a lot of them are developers. They don't have to speak to people.
But if you're a true developer, you gotta think about what you're really doing. It's like when I was making art. What was I really doing? I was selling art. That's what I was doing. If I wasn't selling it, then I wasn't really an artist anymore. Because how do you make a living if you're not selling anything?
Is your game development a hobby or a business? That's the first thing you have to ask. Is it if it's a hobby, then it doesn't matter.
Do food on the table.
Do whatever the hell you want.
Over your head.
If it's something you enjoy doing and you thought you'd share it, then just do whatever you want to do. It's no problem. But if you want it to be a business one day, then you've got to treat it like a business. You treat it like a hobby, it will be a hobby. It's the way it is.
True. I think there's some blurriness in the lines there at some point where you're bringing your hobby to a job. I think I'm in that blurriness right now. But
of course.
I'm like way more organized than I was in just a few years ago. You know what I mean? So, and then you look back 10, 15 years ago, I mean, I'm a completely different person now, and it's all thanks to game dev.
But this is why I also find this is why I wonder how many developers actually talk to each other, in voice like this, because text is great, but it's not the same as chatting in audio, because you can get a lot more out. You can hear people's intonations in their voices and their interests. And I
think it's really common in RPG games.
Oh yeah, but it's important that developers talk to each other. Because like I say, you're all trying to do the same thing. And and it's just interesting to hear. And when you hear someone else say, "Oh yeah, I was rubbish at marketing," or "I was rubbish at pixel art," or whatever, and you go, "Oh, okay, so what did you do?" And they say, "Oh, well, I just paid someone, or I just did this, or downloaded this asset pack," and you're like, "That's a good idea." And because a lot of time you're working on your own, and you don't have, like I was saying to Rick earlier, you don't have someone next to you to say, "Don't do that. That's rubbish." You go, "Oh, was it? Yeah, okay, I won't bother." You know, why is it rubbish?
I mean, you guys, this channel and everything you've been directly responsible for what I consider to be a really big improvement to Darkstar as well, because I was watching one of your videos and you were looking over a game which had very nice fog in it. And you were mentioning that, the fog's really nice. And I remembered, for Darkstar, I had a system for fog, but it sucked. So I took it out because I couldn't wrap my head around the idea. And I'm like, no, I want the fog in the game because it's important for setting the mood, because, you know, horror games have fog in some form and pretty much pretty much all the time. And it's like, I can't make a horror game that doesn't have some kind of fog somewhere at some time.
Well, you know, atmosphere is part of it. First of all, I appreciate you watching the video. Thank you. But that's something. It's interesting to see how people play and view games. And like I said, because I'm not a developer, I don't know the technicalities of it and what's hard and what isn't. But you can see how someone plays your game and how they react and say, you know, the fact that. So I pay a lot of attention to like the text people use and stuff, and sometimes I'm like, my mind boggles. I'm like, why would you pick this font? Well, you know, but they didn't really think about it. They just thought, it matches the aesthetic, I'll pick that font. But when someone's just looking at it and you think, I can't read half of the letters, you know, I don't care if it matches it. I'd rather it not match and be able to read everything. That's more of a priority for me. And like I say, things like the fog, you know. For something you thought, I'll put fog in because I can, but for a player, it's something they notice and say, this looks good, I like this. And you got to remember that that players are looking at games through the visuals because that's all they've got to go by, you know. So little effects like that, like the little lighting effects, do make a difference. And
and there's something else that's going on here too, right? Because when you're streaming a game, you're doing a job, right? And the job is like super helpful for a dev, and the streamer doesn't really realize it because they're just doing their job of presenting their thoughts, right? They're speaking, they're playing, they're talking about what they're thinking, and that is just the perfect thing for a developer. So the sooner you get your game in front of people, you're going to realize that what's important these days, a lot of times in marketing and streamers and stuff, is that there needs to be talking points for the streamer. It's just it's one of those things you don't really think about as an indie dev until you have your game in front of a streamer and you're like, this is quiet. Why is there quiet? All of a sudden, every minute of quiet, all of a sudden is like, why aren't they talking about the game? Maybe there should be something more exciting. Maybe there should be something going on. You know, there's all types of things that come up in your head, and the sooner you get that out of the way, the better your approach is going to be, like, throughout the dev cycle, I think.
Yeah, and I've had things like I've had a couple of developers say, no, if there's any bugs, just cut the stream. I'm like, no, if you want me to play it, I will find bugs, definitely. And I love finding bugs because it's hilarious sometimes. And don't forget,
I love it too.
For a content creator, I want content. So for me, bugs and stuff going wrong is hilarious and good.
Yeah,
and it makes
it's
people
gold.
And people in the chat saying, "Is that supposed to do that?" Say, "Nope." Okay. And some developers get really panicky about it because it's like, "Oh no, but it's showing my game is broken." But that's not the point. And I always say it's not my stream. Don't worry, we will find bugs, and if we find one, it's good because that means it can be fixed the next time we stream it. It's no problem. So don't be afraid of bugs. Don't worry about that. And
look at big games, right? There's tons of bugs. I mean, obviously Cyberpunk we don't need to talk about. Breath of the Wild, it's buggy as heck. That's a huge game. They like saved the system basically. Well, I guess not. Right? It's a huge money maker for Nintendo, and it's buggy.
Yeah.
So I mean, you're allowed some leeway with bugs.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to playing it. Let me know when it's ready, and we'll play it. So we've got the virtual indie booth series. So we can get it on there. Me and Paul can give it a bash.
Well, it's if you go to Beyond, you should be able to just I don't know if you're comfortable with installing Beyond, but you don't need to make an account to run the game. Just if you want to do multiplayer, you would have to set up an account currently with the way it's set up. But otherwise, you can just download, install Beyond, and download the game as a zip, and just run the files. And
well, again, we'll try and do it on the next indie booth. Whenever, again, it depends on the time zones. This is the problem, because again, I don't know if you've seen. Have you seen any of the indie booth series, the streams? Are they the ones you've seen?
Yeah, one.
Okay, so like I said, we just asked that the developer has to be in the chat. I always say that, and I've had people say, "Well, why'd you make them do it?" I was like, because if you can't make it time-wise, I understand, that's no problem. But the problem is, the point of the show is to have 5 developers with 5 different communities all seeing new games that they haven't seen before. And if everyone plays along with that theory, then that's 4 new audiences that your game is going to. So
yes,
when I'm having, maybe a little problem, or something's funny, or someone's got a question, it's like, oh my god, how did you do that lighting effect? I want the developer in the chat to say, yeah, I'm here, I did this, because you've got 4 other developers going, oh, that's cool, I like that. And it just starts conversation, starts connections, and it's not just me playing it, because anyone can stream a game. It's that's what makes the show different. So if you can make it for the live show, it's always, well, for me it's 9 o'clock, so it always starts at 9 o'clock my time, which is 2 hours ago for me. And we can get you on, and we can play pool. We use Parsec to play multiplayer, whether it's local or online, whatever. So we can play online, play multiplayer, and we just play it for 15 minutes, and it just gives a little teaser of the game, so people can just go, oh, cool, that's cool. And then we move on to the next game. Simple as that. So if you want to make one of the next shows, we can get it on, we can play it. You can see how me and Paul both play it, how we react, and you'll get comments from the other developers in the chat, because there will be 4 others.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a good starting point. And then
my only concern is that it might be a little confusing. My name is Paul as well. So.
Oh god.
The invasion of the Pauls.
They're Paul. Too many of them. Oh, well, we've got 2 Ricks here, 2 Pauls. Yeah, that's no problem. So,
there's also invasion of the Karens to think about too.
Yes.
No, it's attack of the Karens.
Attack of the Karens. Yeah, there you go. And then like I always say, you're then free if you want to use any of the clips that from the stream. You can just use anything that we put out. If you want to use it for your marketing, say, here you go, this is the game streamed live, here's a funny clip that happened, whatever, gives you something else to post. It's just,
well, I fully expect very funny bugs to show up, because there's I won't say what causes it, but your character can accidentally moonwalk
amazing
in Darkstar without much effort.
I know what causes it. I did that development style where what do they call it? It's not like paper doll or whatever, but where the hinge joint sprites, right? Multi sprite characters, they call it, right? I would hold the arrow keys, right, left and right, and all of a sudden all of those parts would swap, right? But it was still trying to do the run animation, but everything was flipping left and right, because I was telling it to, if I'm hitting right, flip the sprite. If I'm hitting left, don't flip the sprite, and I'm hitting both. So it's just flipping back and forth. It was just so funny. Right. It was great.
And that's like for game dev, that's like one of the things that it's just, you have to consider it with everything you do, because once you find out, it's like, oh, I have to sanity check for this. I have to make sure that if I'm holding left and then I press right, what happens? And that, it adds a huge level of anxiety for me. When I'm coding,
I think what most in that situation, I think what most devs do is that if you're holding both buttons, then it doesn't do anything. I think that's like the easy answer for that, but you can kind of do what you want, you know what I mean? So I could see where that anxiety comes from, for sure.
Yeah. But then that's the joy of watching people stream it, because you're thinking, well, who's gonna do that? No one's gonna press those 2 buttons together. you'll watch the first stream and you're thinking,
that's the
oh
first
my
thing we do.
God, what are you doing? Yeah, like again, I don't try and break stuff, but I do always.
I do.
I do try and just play the game as I would if I was on my own. I honestly do. I just, and I do jump up and think, can I make it up there? I don't know. Let's keep trying. Just for the sake
I play
of it.
like a 5-year-old, probably worse than a 5-year-old.
Yeah.
I'll walk into the colliders to see if there's any gaps. It's like a raptor, testing the electric fence.
Yeah, but it's exciting. And the thing is, and this is why I'm not a developer, because I'm just not patient enough. But I love talking to people. I love talking to developers, and I like playing games. So it's perfect for me, and that's enough for me.
Oh, I love breaking games. That's fun too.
Wow.
I was, well, Link's Awakening was like the best. I don't know if anyone remembers that one, but just recently I was playing my friend Techie Crow's game, and he's got like a maze game going. It's really cool. But there's like some models that were, they had colliders to them that they could have just used. He could have just used a box, but he used a mesh, so I could just jump on it, right? So, but there was no mesh on the ceiling, so I'm jumping off the ceiling, and now it looks like I'm on Mars because I jumped through the mesh, and I'm jumping across the maze, but I'm falling through the ceiling. It was a totally different game all of a sudden.
And yeah, I mean that goes with. I've been playing a lot of Resident Evil 8, both because it's great and both for some inspiration. But there's some bugs in there that let you do some crazy stuff, and it just goes to show it happens to the best of us. So it's like I can't. It feels to me now that it's like I'm starting to get into it, and I'm starting to talk to more people, and they're all coming back and saying the same thing, and I'm seeing it in all these games that it's like it happens to the best, so it's nothing to worry about. And if anything, it's a funny little quirk, so long as it doesn't like ruin the gameplay.
Yeah, of course.
It's a funny little quirk that just lets you go, hey, look at this crazy thing I can do in this game, where if you didn't have that, it would almost be worse.
What was the game? I was playing a game on the indie booth a few weeks ago where I was playing it and the character only ran backwards. And I thought it was part of the game. I was like, wow, this is difficult. So I was doing the level backwards, shooting everything, killing stuff. I was like, wow, this is a unique mechanic. And the developer in the chat was just like, yeah, that's a bug. You shouldn't be facing backwards.
I think I saw that.
Did you? Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
I know.
That's the best, though. Stuff is the best.
But again, it gave me content, and it gave the developer a fix. It was like, oh yeah, okay, and it made it funny. So it was like, oh cool.
Yeah, and I guess it could be easy to get nervous if you've never been in that situation before. But anyone who's been programming or developing for any amount of time, they know things go wrong when you least expect it. Sorry, that's just the way it happens.
Yeah.
So that's just how it is. If you don't like it, sorry.
Yeah.
Things are gonna break sometimes.
They are. Yeah.
You just gotta fix it when you can.
I think we've badgered you enough to create a Twitter account and let us stream it. So,
I do have notes down, and the first note is make a Twitter.
Yes, and tag us.
It's a good call. Yeah, totally. Definitely love helping people out. And you know what? When you have a small account and a game, I think people see that and they're like, I'm gonna help this guy out.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. I'm just going through.
Yeah, I wish I would have started way earlier on Twitter. I started my account in 2009, but that was because I was like leaving college, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna start at Twitter, and then I never used it. I just started using it maybe 3.5 years ago.
Yeah. Well, again, my Indie Gaming X account's only a year old. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's going well.
Things build way faster than you think, right? When you're first starting out and you're like, oh man, all these, how did they get 10,000?
I know.
And 10,000 still looks like a lot. Don't get me wrong.
Oh yeah, I agree. I've just gone past the 2 mark.
Right, but when you're first starting out, 500 seems like a lot. You know what I mean?
Yep, it does.
And then after you've reached a few thousand, 500 is like, you're still a baby.
Yeah.
It's weird how things change, but it's an exponential growth. It's what's really cool about it. Like you can kind of watch on your analytics, and obviously it changes depending on how you post and what you're posting, how active you are. But for the most part, you're going to just increasingly gain followers. That's just how it seems to work. I mean, maybe that's just my game. But it seems like even on the other accounts, because I have a podcast and then the studio account, it just seems like even if you don't really do anything, some people follow you. It's kind of weird.
And I've noticed it basically results in kind of exponential growth. My Discord channel was like 7 people for probably about a year.
Oh, that's the hardest.
Just over the past maybe month, it's like tripled in size, and there's more people joining every day. And it's like, okay, what happened? And it's like, well, we told 2 friends, and then they told 2 friends, and then they told 2 friends.
Absolutely. And you persevered is really what happened, because if you would have said, you know what, this isn't for me, then it wouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
I think that's the most important part.
It's interesting to see someone at the, I won't say silly, but at the start of the sort of social side of it, because say you haven't got a Twitter account yet and you're not doing much marketing, so it's interesting to see how quickly it can grow. Just pick some nice gifts. Gifts are always great, by the way. Don't not share gifts. I think the engagement, what was it? The engagement rate from a picture or a GIF over text tweets, it's like 200% more engagement on average. So
and videos as well.
Yeah, and the other tip is, if you're going to share a picture or anything, use something like Canva to make sure you're using the right size, because otherwise they just look so much nicer if you post a picture with the right dimensions, because otherwise you get the top and bottom chopped off.
Yeah,
and it just looks a bit naff. So just resize it for the Twitter size, and it looks so much slicker.
It's different for every site.
Oh, I know, pain in the ass, aren't they? So that's why.
But if Canva makes it easy, I might have to switch to Canva.
Canva.
I just remember the dimensions, and then when I forget, I Google what's the current dimensions for.
Canva's like the dream. I mean, it's just unbelievable. Go to Canva, type in Twitter, Twitter post header.
You know what's probably my biggest tool is screen to GIF. It's this GIF maker. Oh my god, it's just so useful. It's not the best quality. It's not even like, it's kind of slow and clunky, but it does what it's supposed to do when you tell it to. I mean, relatively, and it just works. I mean, you know, and
Twitch, Twitter, crushed the hell out of it on the compression anyway, so don't worry.
Well, see, if you kind of know how Twitter does their compression, you can kind of get them to not compress it. All you have to do is give them something that they don't need to compress.
Yeah, you make it as big as you can before it gets compressed. Exactly.
Well, you got to give it to them the size they want.
Yeah, but I'm saying don't upload a 1080p clip. And
you need to be 720 if it's for Twitter.
Yeah, exactly.
And it could only be like 1 minute and 30 seconds long or something like that. I mean, you can do longer now, I guess, but it's no point in making it longer than that, because no one's going to watch it longer than that. I mean, maybe a couple people will, but it's better to make your trailers and stuff short. And the videos as well, you know. If you can make a video and make people think that it's a GIF, I think you're doing a good job.
Definitely.
Because people like GIFs, but there's no sound.
No.
Yeah. One of the what I've been using to capture GIFs and MP4s and stuff like that has been ShareX, and that has
ShareX is great too.
Yeah,
and it's probably better quality than screen to GIF as well. Because it's probably a little bit more advanced than screen to GIF. Screen to GIF is a little bit easier, I think. But
yeah,
you know what?
I always get upset with ShareX every now and then, because I start it up and then I'm like, oh gosh, which one of these multiple menu options will actually record my screen?
I'm looking at a screenshot of it
settings.
now. Oh my god.
There's 2 settings preferences or whatever. There's like settings and preferences or something. It's like, oh my god, why?
Yeah. So I'm looking at the menu now. Oh my god.
Is there a way to do like frame by frame GIF editing, and like if you're making a GIF, like you screenshot and you have a GIF in ShareX, are you able to like delete frames from it or no?
I don't believe so.
So that's one thing that Screen to GIF can do. You can actually rearrange it and delete. You can chop portions of it. So what's great about that is getting it to fit within the megabyte parameters, right? Because that's like the difficult part with the GIF, right? Another way you can do it is you can make a video, right? And you can even do a high res video and then put it through a converter, right? But that's you're gonna get some unexpected results with the converter. And then there's ways to even manually make GIFs. Oh my god, it can get really crazy if you're trying to make a high quality GIF. But there's definitely tons of tools out there, and then a bunch of different methods.
We should probably test it and see which one we should, because I get asked this question a lot, and it's probably something we should just say, look, we've tested loads of them, this is the best one, save people having to keep searching through them all.
You know what's the best is Unity. If you're using Unity, it comes with the GIF maker. It's so great.
Well, we're not all using Unity, right?
I'm sorry. No, actually, that one's actually really slow and hard to use. It does make great GIFs, but it's like slow motion when you're playing it. So it's hard to make it look like actual gameplay when it's slow motion, right? That's the problem with the Unity one. But yeah, Screen to GIF and ShareX are both really great tools. OBS works pretty well for most people for screen capturing like gameplay. Yeah, ShareX as well for that. You can do like WebM with ShareX, which is nice.
Makeagif.com. So much rubbish out there as well, though, isn't there? That's the problem.
Yeah.
Back to the itch problem.
Yeah, like easy GIF and all that.
Yeah, I've just gone through those. Yeah.
Yeah, man. I mean, GIFs have always been something that I've been interested in. It's funny. I remember when I was a little kid and I was like, I found like the first, I think it was just gifmaker.com or something like that. And it was like the first thing I found. It's like, I'm going to make this frog jump.
Funny enough, easy GIF. I hate the fact that it's, see, I read that as EZGIF, so it doesn't even make sense.
Oh, yeah.
So easygif.com is the top one in the search ranks, and then GIFmaker is the second one. So you've just mentioned the top two without knowing.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well, back when the internet started, like the internet and GIFs were like synonymous, right?
They were, yeah.
That's the way I looked at it. I had like a what does they call it? The GeoCities, right?
Oh God. Yeah.
Yeah. And Yahoo.
Yeah, I had all that. Yeah, definitely.
Just load it up with a bunch of GIFs you find on the internet.
I'm so glad
like that Simpsons episode.
Yes, yeah.
Simpsons.
Where everything is on the screen is just
chaos. Homer's like addicted to the internet, right?
Cool. Right. Okay. Well, I think I'm going to bring it to an end there.
Cool. It's been a good chat.
I have been up since 4, so I'm.
Oh wow!
I've been to work today. Unbelievable. Disgusting.
Opposite for me.
Disgusting. Yeah, it is.
It's like my morning still.
Well, I hope you get some good rest.
Yeah, I've got a busy day tomorrow, but we've got a weird loft space in the back of our bathroom that's just doing nothing. So we've got a friend coming over tomorrow to board it all out and put lights and make it all look nice in there. So
I'll make it fun.
That'd be cool.
Yeah,
that's my day tomorrow. But yeah, so
exciting.
And your day tomorrow is tagging us on your new Twitter account.
that might happen earlier rather than later.
Ooh,
so
get in there.
Hopefully you see it like today.
All right, I'll keep an eye out.
Oh yeah.
Well, not today. Today, you get rest first.
No. Today you got 38 minutes left of today.
Oh
so
no!
The countdown's on. But yeah, no. Thanks for joining me, guys. I really appreciate it. It's been a nice chat. Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah, no problem. I'd love to be in the next one. I totally missed the first 3. Sorry.
Again, these are completely unplanned. Completely, there's no schedule, there's no plan, nothing. I just hit the live button, and then anyone who wants to join just joins. If not, I'll just be browsing the internet. So it's just that's the point of them, just nice and casual.
Well, if I'm awake, I'll be there.
Cool, dude.
Yeah, sounds like fun.
I am planning the next indie booth. I'm just trying to find a date with other Paul, when we can do it together. And then I need my 5 games. I've already got 1, so I need 4 games technically. So that's the next on the list. So that'd be cool.
I'll have to hit that up.
Yeah, you'll see. Again, you'll see it on Twitter because I post all the time.
Oh yeah.
You should know. Cheers, guys. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, studio, if you're still around. Whoever's still in the chat, thank you so much for joining again. Hope you got some cool snippets of information out of this. I think there was lots of few rants, which is always good. And we got some cool tips and tools, so that's always good. So I'm gonna go to bed.
Cool.
Read a book, and I'll see you. Oh, actually, no. Tomorrow night, live stream tomorrow night on Twitch. This time, it's the Alien Scumbags-a-thon. The 24-hour stream, not by me, by about 20 different streamers tomorrow, all playing Alien Scumbags one after each other. So
wow.
The game will be live on Twitch for 24 hours, and it'll be different streamers for every hour. So check that out. I'm at 9 o'clock my time, which was 2.5 hours ago, whatever that is your time. And then Trista Bites follows me, so I've got to set a high score. But what is interesting about that game? In fact, that is a 2D horror space-based game. So there you go.
Yep. I saw the play that you had on it 2 weeks ago. You had the Dev podcast.
Oh, there you go.
And I was like, oh man, this guy got it out and it looks great, and I can totally do this too. So
yeah, absolutely. And again, he's a really nice guy as well, so he'll always help. If you've got any questions, he's always. James is really nice.
I definitely have questions for him about the marketing campaign. That's very interesting to me.
Yeah. Well, this 24-hour stream is a really good idea. So he is really active on Twitter, and he
sure is
lots of connections and chats on Twitter. So there's a good example. So if you can make it, again, the stream is on all day in all sorts of time zones. So if you can make one of the streams, I would, because he'll probably be in the chat, I expect, somewhere. So ask away, because all the feedback and interactions, the better, as you know. So check that out. That'll be tomorrow. So that'll be, I don't know from whose midnight he's starting it from. If he's starting it from our midnight, because he's in the UK as well, or your midnight, I don't know. But check it.
Yeah, I'm gonna be there all 24 hours. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, you better be. But you can catch my super high score breaking stream tomorrow at 9.
Yeah, I'll try to be there.
He actually created his own game mode for the stream, by the way. It's a survival mode
dope.
Just for the stream.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's cool. Right, thank you guys. Good night, everybody.
Oh, thank you.
We'll see you tomorrow.
Good night.
Yep. Have a good one.
And take care.
Peace.
Bye-bye.